Okay, I know I'm late to this, but here are my thoughts on Arcana's design. Personally, I think Arcana's design is fine on its own, but it's when you add her back into the main group is where it looks bad. The white is too light compared to everyone else, and it throws the entire aesthetic off. Let's take a step back and compare her to the other recent white cures, Prism, Nyami, and Zukyun. While all of them are white, they have strong accent colors that make them pop and match their team's aesthetic, where Arcana just doesn't. Unlike the other members of the Star Detective theme that have strong colors and accents that bounce off of each other, Arcana doesn't. She's almost all white, only has the pink on her skirt, the pink jewels, and the gold crest accents on her outfit, and they're not strong colors, so they don't pop at all and don't match anyone else. Whereas you have the recent white cures that have strong colors that do bounce off of their teammates, which don't have them fade into the background, especially Zukyun. Now with Zukyun, even though she's considered a white cure, her attacks, her aesthetic in her transformation, and even her spotlight color in Kimito Idol's second attack, they're all green because even though she is a strong white cure, Toei knew that keeping everything about her white would cause her to fade into the background. So while it does look bad on paper, in execution it works really well. And I know it's a little too soon for me to judge, but based on her new rod and her merch, it seems everything about Arcana is gonna be white, and it's just gonna cause her to fade into the background compared to everyone else. And then there's Nyami. While I think it's dumb that she's considered a blue cure with all the white she has on her, I get that they were trying to make her stand out, and at least she doesn't fade into the background. And then with Prism, with her hair and her attacks, they're mostly pink, even though she's considered a white cure, which again, helps her not to fade into the background with her other teammates. I also think that the Cure Arcana debate has put some perspective on Toei's earlier decisions. Remember how back in 2022, everybody was sick of the yellow, pink, and blue color scheme? Well, now it's obvious why Toei kept doing this. The pink, blue, and yellow color scheme made it easier for them to pick a color for their mid-seasons, as it was a really balanced color dynamic, whether the mid-season cure was red, purple, or green. And now that I think about it, this might actually explain the color debates in Pretty Cure. Toei isn't labeling them based on design, they're labeling them based on their team's aesthetic, especially when you take Max Heart into account. Black, white, and yellow work way better than black, white, and pink. And if that's true, this puts a whole new perspective when it comes to Pretty Cure's color designs. And honestly, I have to agree with Toei if this is the case, because blue, pink, and purple are not an easy color dynamic to get into, and only a handful of colors work. And to be honest, if they really wanted to change Arcana's color, they should have made her yellow to better match with Mystique. That way it wouldn't look ridiculous as it does now. Black works a whole lot better with blue, purple, and pink than white does. I'm sorry, but that's just how it looks, especially when you factor in the color wheel. And to be honest, I really don't feel like going through all that nonsense because I have other things to do. But anyways, that concludes my thoughts on Cure Arcana.